Bawweep, Grana, Weep, Ninny Bong. I'm Engineer Hoist. Welcome to our weekly Transformers Earth Wars news stream. First off, I want to apologize for missing last week. I don't have deadlines often at work, but that was 1 week where I had deadlines, and it just kept me very late. But we're back, and we're here to talk about Transformers Earth Wars. I also have quite a few crystals, mostly C.O.M.B.A.T chips, to crack if we stick around. We'll talk about predictions for the next 5-star batch. I know Sunstreak, Waza, and Trios Theory put out some videos, and there's actually, you can vote in the poll. We'll talk about that in a little bit, and we'll talk about who I think might be coming in the game. We started off with the question of the day: what's your favorite Transformers Earth Wars feature, like raids, combat bots, things like that? A lot of you guys seem to really like the combat bot features. I personally really like that as well. We also had a vote for combiners, which I slipped my mind when I was putting the examples up there. But yes, combiners is definitely a defining characteristic. And if views on videos count, combiners is definitely very popular. Okay, so how about we go ahead and get to the news? This weekend's event is called Data Mining, which we know there's been quite a bit of that going on over the history of this game with leaks of new bots and various things like that going on. But this event is called Data Mining. So it's gather your alliance and take part in this weekend's event to win up to 4.5 million Energon and Alloy, 10,500 premium shards, and up to 30 total spark crystals, which gives you a chance to win up to 10,000 Spark, Combiner Spark, or Combat Spark. We've seen these total Spark Crystals before, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago. This is an Alliance Prestige event. There are 30 Prestiges. It starts at the usual Friday start time, ends at the usual Monday stop time, and there's triple XP to be had during the event. To participate as an Alliance event, you have to be in an Alliance, and to do that, you have to be Headquarters Level 4. Hit that yellow event button, select your battle zone, win your battle, collect the points, and collect the prizes. Battle zones are the standard battle zones. Sorry, I was looking at the chat there for a second. Here's the prestige prizes. You can win this list of prizes up to 30 times, depending on how well your alliance does. And there you go. Alloy Energon shards and total spark crystals. Not the most exciting rewards, but you still do get triple XP. And it's always nice to have some alloy and Energon in the inventory. And premium shards are always good. And spark definitely is also very welcome as well. And here are what you can win. You can win 5,000, 7,500, or 10,000 Spark of either regular Spark, Combiner Spark, or Combat Spark, and it's an equal chance to win any of them. We also, they revealed these 2 new bots last week, so weren't able to talk about them, but we do have their bios. I don't think we had the bios last week, so this is new. And let's see. So Chromia, this is a nice to see a few more lady bots or femme bots, however you want to talk about them, coming into the game. And they're using her siege mold here. I do have this figure, so we'll show that off in a little bit. Her bio reads as such: bluntly honest and not one to mince words, Chromia can be difficult to get along with and doesn't suffer fools gladly. But then friendships are something she doesn't encourage. As to her way of thinking, they get in the way of her duties, which are of paramount importance. Her rough edges and gruff manner appeal to other like-minded bodyguards and security officers, and there's no doubting she can be ruthlessly efficient when it comes to protecting those under her vigilant eye. She's also a dab hand at sabotage and under-the-radar operations in enemy territory. Now, the other like-minded bodyguards and security officers, I'm pretty sure they're hinting towards Ironhide there, because Ironhide and Chromia were famously a couple back in G1 for that one episode. And while they weren't presented as a couple in IDW, they did work together as security officers there in post-war Cybertron. So I'm pretty sure that they didn't really name him there, but I'm pretty sure they're talking about Ironhide. So that is Chromia. We don't have any news about what the ability is going to be yet, so we will see that. Yes, Red Alert, you're a security bot, but I'm not sure if you're like-minded with Chromia. You know, she's rough and gruff, and you're more of a paranoid kind of bot over there, so maybe you get along. I don't know. Let us know. Yeah, Firestar and Inferno were also paired up in there, and Moonracer and Powerglide, I believe, were paired up in that episode. I cannot remember the name of it. Moving on to the Decepticons, this is Fellbat, and don't worry about the name. This is the name of the toy that was released as part of Combiner Wars. And you see, Grand Galvatron's already on there. Yes, that Hellbat was the original name back in the Japanese version of G1, but the toy that was released, probably due to you know, trying to water things down a little bit, it's now Fellbat. So kind of like we have Slug now instead of Slag. Probably similar reasons. But so this is Fellbat. If there's an opening to exploit or an edge to be gained, Fellbat is first in line, going to any lengths, including underhand and plain maniacal, to climb the greasy pole. He doesn't care if he's liked and is more than happy to talk behind others' backs and spread malicious gossip. The highly accomplished spy, no one quite trusts Fellbat not to reveal their deepest, darkest secrets, or just blackmail them. And he can project mesmerizing waves of sonic energy that sap the will of opponents, making them both more malleable or vulnerable. It's safe to say no one exactly cherishes Fellbat's company. So, there you go. Eric Sean 345 say, I hope Iron Bison will appear in the game. That was the that I believe we'll be seeing that. That's the team they're bringing in there. Yes, Kill Bison was the original name, and similar to Hellbat, who got changed to Fellbat, I expect to see Kill Bison changed to Iron Bison to match the Combiner Wars toy. So get ready for that one, Grand Galva. Sorry. So those are the two new bots, and we'll take a look at Chromia here in a second. But also in the newsletter. And also, I copied the link. It will be in the description of this video on YouTube. The new batch is coming, and you can vote for who they're going to be. It's open now, and you can vote it up until Tuesday, June 23rd. That's this coming Tuesday at 10 Universal Time, and do the math on the time zones. It's roughly the same time as the event's starting, so... And similar to the last time we had a vote, certain bots like Star Saber and Sentius Magnus, Deathsaurus, Sentius Malice, those guys, even Swoop and Scourge were not included to be there to vote. So I haven't voted yet, but I will tell you who I plan to vote for. Here is the list for anybody who has not seen it. So we'll talk now briefly about the 5-star bots. Me personally, this one's tough because a lot of the really good bots are already 5 stars. I'm thinking, I'm predicting Rook and Blot being voted in. Because of these that are left on the list, those are the ones that I hear most about people really liking. I predict Rook and Blot being the one voted in. In fact, that's, I think, who I'm going to vote for. I reserve the right to change my mind. But that was my first thought. I'm also thinking that we might see Punch, even if it's not voted in. So these other next 4, we'll do it kind of like a Powerball. I'm thinking Rook and Blot is the Powerball. That's the one who's going to get the vote. And then there's going to be 4 more. I expect to see Punch and Counterpunch. Now, hear me out. I expect it very much like Cheetor, who was not everybody's favorite. He got a buff right about the same time that he became released into 5 stars and became really the prize of that crystal, that batch. I expect a similar situation to happen with Punch Counterpunch. Not necessarily that he'll be the prize of the batch, but I expect a buff for Punch and Counterpunch because they've been talking about that for a little bit. I expect to see a buff for Punch and Counterpunch and have them be in the crystal. Now for the other 3, I'm thinking Bumblebee is due. Bumblebee and Scrapnel. I think we might see Bumblebee and Scrapnel as one of this batch. And let's see, probably a gunner of some type. Probably an Alpha Bravo and Long Haul, maybe. And the fifth one, Rook and Block is a warrior. We got a gunner. We got a couple of specials. And although I saw a couple of you guys saying Octopunch or Sea Spray, that might be a good one. We might be seeing them instead of Alpha Bravo Long Haul. That's another good option for a gunner. Haven't really thought this through much. But for the last one, to go along with Rook and Blot, Punch and Counter Punch, Bumblebee and Scrapnel, and I'll go along with you guys. Sea Spray and Octopunch. I'll change my vote there. I'm going to say one of the jets. Possibly Cybertron, Jetfire, and Starscream. Maybe Skydive and Skywarp. I'm going to lock it in. Rook and Blot as the voted in. Punch and Counterpunch. Sea Spray and Octopunch. Bumblebee and Scrapnel. Cybertron, Jetfire, and Starscream. That's my prediction. I might be completely off, and none of them will be in there because I have not had very good luck with the predictions. But there you go. I haven't seen if they posted it to their Facebook page, but most likely this is the same survey. It takes you to Survey Monkey and all that. What about Air Raid or Slipstream? I think that they would have to really change the Air Raid and Slipstream when they put them in the 5 stars, because I don't think anybody really liked them much at all. So certainly not at the top level. Yeah, imagine the Skylinks would be a 5-star. See, he's another one of those OP bots that we won't see as a 5-star until maybe like they're the last ones, and even then we may never see him. Same thing. He's in that same OP category along with Star Saber and Sentius Magnus and Swoop. Although I think Swoop and Scourge, they've actually come back, and actually I see Tigerhawk and Waspinator are not on here as well. I don't think they're quite as OP anymore with the new power cores that are available for some of the laser turrets. So I think it would be. I think Swoop, Scourge, Tigerhawk, Waspinator would actually work well as 5 stars. I don't think they're too OP. If anything, they're like right on the edge. So we might see them at some point. Let's see. Should have saved your 5-star crystal for a bit longer. You got Ratchet. You copycat. I just got Ratchet, but you guys all probably know that there. Inferno might actually be a good choice too. But I think if we see Rook and Blot, we won't see Inferno and Rodimus Unicronus. But you never know. So there we go. Rook and Blot, Punch, Counterpunch, Cybertron, Jetfire, and Starscream, Sea Spray and Octopunch, Bumblebee, and Scrapnel. And that really does it for the news. Just a reminder for anybody who happens to be watching the replay, we do record these Wednesdays at 8 p.m. over on Twitch at twitch.tv/EngineerHoist. Head on over there, give us a follow, and you'll receive a notification when we start streaming. And you can also follow me on Instagram and Twitter at EngineerHoist, where I do post some things occasionally. And that's basically it. So before we get out of here and move on to the crystal cracking, I did promise a look at Chromia. This is her Siege figure. This is not the Netflix one, but if you see it, if you can still see her out there in the Netflix box, just imagine her really, really dirty. just like half of her is black with battle damage dirt, because that's basically the Netflix Siege version. So the only thing I didn't really like about the way they've handled the fembots, the female Transformers lately, is they all have this basically the same mold, except for Elita 1. Every female Transformer that has come out in the last few years has shared this exact mold. This one is slightly retooled so that it doesn't have the combiner bits to it, but every other one was the exact same mold. Even Tentakill uses this mold, heavily modified, but still, it's this basic mold. So it's good to see that RC coming out in Earthrise is actually true to RC, but I was a big fan of the Generations Chromia that came out. It was a heavy retool of the Transformers Prime RC, the motorcycle, but it had more of like the heavy canopy, the full canopy like what she's got on her back here. I really liked that Generations Chromia. The Siege one is okay, and I think I got it mostly just to complete the line, but I definitely prefer that Generations one. Every female Autobot is small. Yeah, that's probably a topic for a whole nother discussion. I don't know if anybody's actually done that, but talk about all the different female Transformers. Personally, I like when you see some of the female Transformers that buck tradition, like Strika, who's just like this huge hulking tank, or even in Cyberverse, I forgot her name, Clobber. It looks just like Lugnut, but it turns into she turns into kind of like a tank thing, and it's female Clobber. So I really like that. And Strong Arm from the Robots in Disguise cartoon. So I definitely really like when they buck tradition and don't give them the typical female form for the female Transformers, because they don't have to. I mean, they could really be anything. So kind of got off topic there, but. It's there you go. Yeah, slender bodies. Yeah, they don't have to be. Okay, so how about we move on to some crystal cracking? I agree, Ultra Magnus. I love the Rescue Bots. Not crazy about the Rescue Bots Academy, because that got a little bit too kiddie. But the Rescue Bots itself was a fantastic show. I mean, it's definitely geared towards the younger crowd, but it's good enough that I think any parents would enjoy it. I personally don't even have kids. I just gave it a try, and I thought it was really neat. It's big fan of Rescue Bots. I've talked about it a number of times, and any time it comes up, I will defend Rescue Bots. I really enjoyed Rescue Bots. Plenty of fun things that they had going on there. So you can see 220 crystals available. Like I said, most of them are chips. Acid Storm as a girl, in the Cyberverse, I do believe that's how Acid Storm is presented. And honestly, I think that's really the first time we've actually seen Acid Storm in fiction. The brief green character in the early first episode of G1, I don't think really counts. That wasn't intended to be Acid Storm. That was later on. They just kind of slapped the name like, hey, there's a Green Seeker. That's an Acid Storm. But it wasn't ever intended to be. It was just a Green Seeker. So we'll get a couple of free crystals out of the way. I did go ahead and crack open all the free stuff, because the last couple times we've opened them, we haven't gotten anything good. And that held true for all these other free crystals that I opened off screen. And so I didn't really get anything. I got a couple of 1,000 premium shards, but that's it. Optimus Rodimus, what's your great news? Before we get going, what's your great news, buddy? I saw you mention that a couple times, and I wasn't at the point where I could call you out. So what's your great news? A lot of crystals. Yeah, they actually do give you a lot in the C.O.M.B.A.T chips. You get a lot of crystals with them. By the way, I don't know if any of you caught, there is a Prime Core chip there. I'm about to get my next to last Prime Core. The options are Megatronus or Alpha Trion. I'm gonna go ahead and crack these Decepticon premiums while we're waiting for Optimus Rodimus to give us his good news. So we got a Mixmaster. And we got RC. I'm sorry, not RC, her counterpart, Nightbird. If we get the Rainmakers, would you prefer Earth Jets or Tetra Jets? I would prefer Tetra Jets because that's what they were in that episode. Plus, also that's what they were in this in the toy line, and they already have the Cybertron Starscream model in the game, so it would just be a recolor of that. But to do that, they would have to come up with 3 other Autobot flyers. So, 4-star flak from a free combat crystal? Wow, congrats to you, Big Bronze Rim. That's awesome. That's awesome. I had to spend a lot of money to get a 4-star flak. Let's go ahead and go through these. We got a 3-star crystal. And we got Skydive. There's Optimus Rodimus got his great news. 4-star Red Alert, 4-star Sideswipe, 4-star Springer, and 4-star Silverbolt. That is indeed great news, my friend. Nice. 3-star Night Raven Skywarp from a free crystal. That's pretty cool. 3 stars are hard to come by from those free crystals. We'll do some Autobot premiums. What do you think about Death Source killing Starscream? I don't think Starscream's completely gone yet. You can't kill off Starscream. I know they did in the G1 movie, but if you watch Beast Wars, you can see, or even in Season 3, he was still around as a ghost, so we'll be seeing Starscream again. They may be setting up a new Starscream character mold, potentially. If they're Tetra Jets, you think they should be camo green and whatnot, or for the single brightly colored ones? Doesn't matter. I mean, the single brightly colored ones would be true to both the toy and the show. It would probably be easier to animate a single color with some details than trying to fit some camouflage on there, but... 3-star Skylinks. Almost thought we were getting something there for a second, but no, we got a 2-star Streetwise. With a silver power core, that's not bad. There's a 3-star Silverbolt. Cliff Jumper. You also died against Rodimus Unicronus. We're talking about Starscream. It's how you got a Cybertron body. Yeah, see, there you go. So, we'll see Starscream again. You also got all those 4-star combat bots too, Optimus Rodimus? Man, that's awesome. You either had some really good luck or spent a lot of money to get all of that. Or maybe it's just saved crystals. A lot of crystals. Keep the eyes open this weekend at Target? Interesting. What are the, what are we looking at there? The, was it like the Earthrise Seeker set? Thundercracker and Skywarp? Is that what we're looking for? Rhinox. Okay, so there's that. I think we're going to go ahead and get the Prime Core out of the way, and then we'll slog through all these duplicate parade of the combat crystals, hoping for some stuff. All right, Prime Core, Megatronus or Alpha Trion. It is Megatronus. There we go. It's kind of funny. This is one of the first ones that came out, and it's like the next to last one that I'm getting. So very, very cool. Megatronus. All right, so I got to figure out who I want to put him on that's going to go and set fire to everything. Definitely is not going to be Pyromagna or Slug or Snarl. It would be ironic to put it on Inferno because he's a fire truck, and then who would be setting things on fire. They'd be like in Fahrenheit 451, be like a fireman like those guys in there. If you guys haven't read that book and you're still in school, you'll probably read it when you get to high school. It's pretty good. It's worth a read. Alright, so what do we got here? We got some fire drive, combat chips, flak, lionizer, and Topshot, who is the new one who came out. And, you know, I don't think I've even used this guy yet. So... let's just get to it. It's going to be a duplicate parade. Should RID 2001 Megatron be added to the game? Man, we got enough Megatrons. They're already making jokes about how many Megatrons there are. I don't see... I'd be very surprised if they even able to manage to bring in 6-shot. If they do bring in 6-shot, they're definitely going to be bringing in Quick Switch, and then that's going to be the end of the 6-changers, because the Autobots haven't had any other kind of a 6-changer. And isn't one of his 6 modes like a big hand, or is that like a fan 7th mode? Four Megatrons if you include Galvatron. This is true, but by actual name in the game, there's actually 3 with the actual name Megatron. But very true, Galvatron is actually a Megatron. Unless you go by the IDW logic, Galvatron was a completely separate character from Megatron, but that's not what they're going by. I believe they did kind of in story in the game go along with the G1 logic that he was indeed a reformatted Megatron. I'm not sure what you mean about when is Dinobot coming back, Pumpkin King. I've seen you ask that a few times. I haven't had a chance to answer. I'm not sure what you mean by when is Dinobot coming back. You mean like available in crystals? I mean, he'll show up in bundles again at some point, but I think Red Alert just showed up, although Gen 1 Red Alert's not seeing him in the crystals for some reason, but I think he's showed up in there, and he was released about 6 months ago, so I think that's the time frame that you're going to see for any time a bot is released. It'll take 6 months before they're actually put out into the what I like to call regular crystals. The premium, free, 3-star, 4-star. So, and I think Dinobot came 2 bots after Red Alert. I think that's somebody in there, Silverbolt, saying 2 months that we still need Strafe. So, yeah. So we would still need Strafe and Thrust, and then you'd get Dinobot and all that. So probably another 2 months before we see Dinobot and Dinobot 2 available in crystals other than in bundles. We could have Cybertronian Wheeljack and Blur. I don't think we'll see another version of Wheeljack. Certainly not until after they bring in a few other characters. Blur is definitely somebody that a lot of people have asked for. I think we'll be seeing Blur at some point. If not soon, at some point. August to September for Dinobot, I agree. Orion Pax, yeah, I'm not expecting to see Orion Pax either. Because, you know, he's like the past version of Optimus Prime. So they'd have to have some other kind of a time travel story where they go have a space bridge malfunction and bring that in. Orion Pax was in there? Well, then they might find a way. But who would he pair against? Because Megatron has basically always been Megatron. I suppose he did go by, in some versions of the story, he went by Megatronus in the past before he dropped the us and just became Megatron. then that might cause confusion with the Megatronus Power Core. But I mean, he did name himself after that. I'm not sure. Have they ever revealed what Megatron's name was prior to being Megatron? It's not coming to me if they've ever done that. Because by the time we saw him in the Gladiator days, he was going by Megatronus and then shortened it to Megatron. And even when he was just a simple miner, I believe he was going by Megatron. Because what was like in thinking of IDW? What was his that book or story that he wrote? Like Towards Peace, I think it was called, and that was by Megatron of Tarn. I think his name could be Frank for all we know. Well, that's yes. Well, if it's going to be any name, Frank would be perfect. Obviously, because it was famously voiced by Mr. Frank Welker. So, in a way, Megatron's name is indeed Frank. Isn't Billy Blaster? So that name's taken. D16 was his original name? Where'd you see that, Silverbolt? I'm not questioning you. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just curious where you found that out, or where that may have been revealed. I mean, it does make sense that they might give miners just a number, as opposed to names. Or heck, even like in the Bumblebee movie, what was he, B-127? So that would kind of make sense, having a name similar to that. Destron 16. Oh, is that like the toy? Like a toy name? Ooh, 4 stars. So that's a nice amount of spark and combat chip shards. I knew that Destron was the Japanese name for Decepticon. I just wasn't sure if that the D16 was the toy name or if it was in fiction somewhere. Okay, moving on to Flak. I think we got had a 4-star fire drive. We got Flak. Lionizer didn't get the 4-star, and obviously Topshot is the brand new one. Oh, one of the novels? Was the Megatron's name? Yeah, I think I have those couple of aligned continuity novels. I just never read all the way through them. And it's almost not even worth cracking these on camera, because it's just there's only so many that it can be, and you get so many of these chips. It's just not out of 200 of these, I'm only likely to get 1 or 2 actually not a duplicate. Yeah, Exodus, Exiles, and Retribution. I think I have at least 2 of those. I just haven't read through them all. I suppose I better get on it. Feel bad for the bots with no elbows. Yeah, like these guys. I mean, how do they scratch their nose when they get an itch? I know they're bots. They don't get itches. 10 5-star bots. I'll be lucky if I can get one, even after all of this. Well, I've got another 3-star crystal. Hey, look, see how far away from the 5-star combat chip. I'm still so far away because you're only getting them 2 at a time. With all the 2-stars, you're only getting them 2 at a time. So you need 2,500. Or get something else off their faces, yeah. Like if they got mud on their face or energon or something. WW pulled a cat gut, very cool. Yeah, I've got Lionizer on Inferno, so it's very similar like what I said about putting Megatronus on him. He's sitting there, he's got his secondary attack, does kind of like the spray, like where he freezes them. It's kind of like the foam to put it out. But before he gets there, he attacks with Lionizer, which spits out flames. So he's attacking he's like fire and ice. He attacks with fire, and then he puts it out, and just works out pretty well. Not the combination, doesn't really stack or anything, but I just think it's kind of funny that he sets things on fire and then essentially puts it out. Can't feed themselves. It's true. What's up, Sharksy? Galvatron working on Chapter 2 of the Viper story. Very cool. Looking forward to that. The Hot Pursuit of 4-star 6-gun. Yeah, 6-gun looks like a good one. I was a little disappointed not to get that one, but that's the way it goes. 4-star flak duplicate. That helps getting those 180 combat chip shards. Saves me another 179 duplicates. Or not that many. 89. There's Lionizer. Yeah, because they did add Lionizer and Catgut to the regular crystals. I think some of you guys were saying you got Catgut and Lionizer out of the free crystals. So they are bringing these combat bots into the standard combat chips a little bit quicker than they do the regular bots. At least for now. I don't know if they'll continue to bring them out quickly, or if they'll eventually start making them take longer. It is kind of a secondary goal to collect these guys as opposed to the bots. So they may continue just to bring them out a little bit quicker after they release them. Another duplicate flak! Saved another 79 duplicates on the way to a 5-star. Catgut on Soundwave. Any other suggestions? Put them on any other con? Well, like I said, I have the equivalent for you would be Catgut on Rodimus Unicronus, because I have Lionizer on Inferno, and I think that works pretty well. I don't have Catgut on my Decepticon squad. I do have Pterodactyl, and I put that on my bludgeon. Seems to work pretty well. Alright, so these are Lionizer chips, so if we pull a 4-star Lionizer, that's going to be a new bot, because we do not have a 4-star Lionizer. And then we got Topshot to come after that, so we will most likely pull the 2-star, maybe even the 3-star of him. Yeah, open 10 option for these? Yes, definitely. If they're gonna give you as many as they do in these bundles, it would be a lot better if you have like a open 10 at a time. Y'all like to say it's good content or whatever, but when it's just a non-stop dupe parade, it's really not good content. It can get, it's boring enough cracking them open yourself, much less watching somebody else open them. That's why it's good to have the live stream going or whatever, because we can chat about other things like Megatron's original name and how you can who to put these on or whatever. Lionizer on Inferno. Hey man, try it out. I like it. Dupe parades, are they ghosts? I don't know. Right, exactly. Gunfire. We could just. I'm able to pay more attention to what you guys are saying as opposed to just talking at you so much. Which that's kind of how the news goes. That's but I more prefer this kind of a free-form thing where we can have a conversation. Blowpipe. You know what I did with my logic for blowpipe and fire drive was I looked at who I wanted to give an attack buff to, because I didn't see that the attack that the unique attack that they do, I didn't see that as a particular benefit in most cases, but they do give you a little bit of an increase in the attack stats. So I looked at who I wanted to give an attack increase to. So I put my fire drive on Tigerhawk, which would be Waspinator for you Decepticons. Swoop or Scourge would actually probably be a good one, which First Monk is actually just telling you right there. So that's who I looked. That was my strategy for blowpipe and fire drive. Is who did I want to increase the attack? I'm not sure if it helped increase the special ability attack, but I mean, if it increases the base stats, it could. I tried to catch if it did or not, and I did not see that it did. Some other you guys out there might be able to confirm one way or the other, but I didn't see that it increased the special ability attack, but it still increased the normal attack at least. Fire drive with 6-gun, yeah. It might be helpful to put on a gunner too, because they already have some pretty high attack. So if you increase, and it's a percentage, so it would increase their attack by even more. Is it fine for Megatron being a pistol for classic reasons? We will never see Megatron as a gun ever again. Megatron is a tank and will always only be a tank, or maybe some sort of a jet or something, but he will never turn into a gun. The Megatron turning into a gun is in G1, and it's going to be staying in G1. You'll never see that again, except for like Masterpiece. They've done that, but new iterations of Megatron will never be a gun again. Tank seems to be a popular one. I like the tank. He's been a jet. Sometimes just like in what was the Titan's Return, he was basically like Blitzwing, tank in a jet. Helicopter in animated, so you can see that again. Yeah, I think the toy laws are part of it, and I think there's some news stories where there was some bad press because of G1 Megatron was actually used in some crimes or attempted crimes back in the day, and so I don't think so. For that reason and other political reasons, which I don't want to get into here, you'll never see him as a gun again. I mean, it's the same reason why the 6th gun, when he came out in Titan's Return, why his gun mode, it was turned upside down and reclassified as a submarine. And I think that's one of the big reasons why Shockwave, the Siege Shockwave, came with all of that junk to put on him. He turns into his classic space gun mode, which is okay because, I mean, that doesn't look like any realistic guns. But by putting him into all that junk on him, turns him into a spaceship. So. Yeah, that's why Nerf guns have bright neon colors and stuff like that, just and very unique designs, because you don't want them being mistaken for real guns. So, for obvious and good reasons. So, and I know there's a nostalgia about him being a gun and stuff like that, but you won't see any new versions of Megatron being a gun. If you want that, go back and watch G1, track yourself down on G1 Megatron. I think there was a Generations, or was it Henkei, maybe? Or Universe or something, where he was turned into kind of a gun, but it was still very bright neon Nerf gun colors, too. Yeah, even Masterpiece Megatron has an orange cap, and it's also very large. And there are even the tiny version of Megatron, the New Age Megatron, turns into the gun. Even that has a little orange cap on it. And they did make them removable. You could take them out, but they obviously put the paper in there telling you not to do it because that kind of removes their liability. Oh man, that sucks, Gunfire. Unequipped a 4-star bot and put it back on the same one. All that energon wasted. Oh. Yeah, go do a few battles, you'll get it back. Waza, you missed all the news! And basically, nothing but a bunch of dupes. Although I did get my next to last Prime Core Megatronus. All I've got left now is Alpha Trion. Okay, so we got no Lionizer out of that. But here's Topshot. I expect to see at least 1, maybe 2 out of that. And since Lionizer is... Well, there's the first Topshot. All right. On crystal number 151, we got the first new combat bot that wasn't a duplicate. But yeah, I figured it would go like that. But so yeah, I did pull one fire drive and 2 flaks at the 4-star level. Wasn't able to get Lionizer though. Still haven't seen Night Stalker, and I think I have a Taraxodon already, and fire drive and flak at 4-star. No, I didn't get the 4-star. I got Topshot, but not the 4-star yet. Thought about it, and then decided to give us a duplicate Lionizer. No, I didn't get it. I didn't get the 4-star yet. More Lionizer. flak. I suppose it's good that I'm getting all these flaks because I got plenty of his jackets sitting there in my power core lab. There's another Topshot. Need to add a couple stars to it though. One of the nice things about these combat bots is even at the 2-star level, they're still useful. I mean, they still give a buff to another bot. And since there's only a limited number of them, it's not like you're taking the place of something else that could come along. So it's still useful to use the 2 stars. I've got all of my 2-star combat bots deployed. Predictions if they bring out 6-star bots, they're not going to bring 6-star bots. Yeah, it'd be a waste if you don't use the 2 stars. Oh, here we go. 4 stars. Lionizer. I'll take it. I will take it. Lionizer's a good one. Let's see if there's one more 4-star waiting there. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Oh, 3-star, that's going to be Topshot. Alright. Now, if we don't get the 4-star Topshot, I'll be happy at least with the 2 and 3. 4-star would be nice, though. I kind of figured the 2 and the 3 would come through out of 50 crystals. It would be nice to see that 4-star come. You know, if it lights up again, Night Stalker's still out there, so we could still see a Night Stalker come through with a fake out. I would not be disappointed with that either. I'd be very happy with 4-star Night Stalker too. You know, a while back I totally forgot that Ravage and Night Stalker were a thing. I don't remember the exact scenario, but during one of my attacks, one of my bots was going off and attacking something, and I was like, "What the heck is it even attacking?" I could not figure out what there was just off in some random spot. I'm like, "What is this bot doing?" Then I went back and looked at the replays, like, "Oh, it's Ravage." Okay, so I totally forgot that was even a thing. So yeah, if you are able, Ravage or Night Stalker on bots that you have in your outposts is actually a pretty good strategy because it will annoy people who forget that they exist. Like me. They're good distraction bots, kind of like the Gnaw in Blaster or Soundwave minions. Nicknamed Topshot, now is Combat Pumpkin. That's a pretty apt name. There's another flak. 4-star duplicate. Hope that wasn't my Topshot. 4-star usage. Am I going to put 4-star Lionizer on 4-star Inferno? I don't know. I'll see. I might. Almost got it. I know that pause doesn't mean anything, but I still get a little excited. Can't help it. $180,000 to get to level 9. Woo! Alright, we're coming down to the wire here. 5 left. Is he in there? Not in this one. Not in this one. There was one battle, by the way, where Lionizer was the last bot on the battlefield. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to take down the headquarters by himself, but he was the last bot on the battlefield for one of them. There's another 3-star top shot. 2 left. And the last chance at the 4-star top shot for now is a dud. It's another Lionizer. Alright. And over here we've got, I think, a 3-star crystal waiting for us. And we made some pretty good progress towards that 5-star combat chip, though. Actually pretty close to a 4-star crystal. This 3-star duplicate's not going to do it for us, but probably get us closer. It's a wheeljack. And another one of Flax jackets. Oh, look at this. We've got a Lionizer story. Ah, this place. The scents, the sounds, it's all so different to Cybertron. Trust me, Lionizer, you'll soon get to grips with Earth. It was strange at first for me too, but now it kind of feels like home. You misunderstand, Fire Drive. I'm not the least bit concerned about where I hunt. Quite the opposite. In fact, I can't wait to mark my territory. Preferably by running some hapless con to ground and gorging on their primary pump. Oop. I'm not sure Optimus Prime would approve, Lionizer. That's just not the way we do things around here. That may be, but the thrill of the pursuit, the roaring rush of fuel to my forehead, such things tend to render considerations, the Autobot code, say, moot. Did I hear you had quite... I did hear you had quite the quick temper, but really you'll need to get a grip. Loose cannons are very much frowned upon. Well, unless you're a wrecker. Your problem, Fire Drive. You think too much. I, on the other hand, am a creature of pure instinct. Most of it base. Between my claws and my atom-smashing blaster, I am bad to the bone. What can I say, but there may be trouble ahead. Grr, it's Topshot. Hey, you old stickler for the rules, how's it going? Oh, we got a Topshot story now. Well, Lionizer is still making it up as you go along. Orders is orders, and they're made to be followed to the letter. Ah, we may both be combat bots now, Topshot. When it comes to modus operandi, we're poles apart. True, true. Whoever gets me as their ballistic buddy better understand that I operate only within the stated parameters of the given conflict. Ah, Topshot. It appears we're to be allied for this mission. Seriously? You and Brainstorm together? This I gotta see. When it comes to strategizing outside of the box, Brainstorm's a mind-bogglingly left-field league of his own. I suspect the thinking behind this particular alliance may be to temper my sometimes lateral freeform approach to problem solving. So, as well as your firearm, I am also to be your safety catch? Perhaps. But perhaps I can help you read between the lines? This battle of wills, I gotta see. We need more Lionizer in stories. We need more Lionizer in stories. I love the way they wrote that character. Very fun. Very fun. That was cool to see those come through. Yeah, if I remember, they didn't have the stories ready when Lionizer first came out, so getting him this time, we actually managed to pick it up. So, all right, and with that, I think this is probably one of the records for the Transformers Earth Wars weekly streams. We're about an hour into it right now, and but it's time to hop on out of here. So we had quite the epic stream. First, we talked about the news, including 5-star, who I thought was going to be the 5-star. If you're new to the stream or managed to make it this far in the video or jumped ahead, it was, I don't even remember who. Rook and Blot, I'm thinking, is going to be the vote. Punch and Counterpunch, Cybertron Jetfire and Skywarp, Bumblebee and Scrapnel, and Sea Spray and Octopunch. Those are my predictions. And with that, we're going to get on out of here. If you're on Twitch, stick around. We'll hang out for a little while longer. And I'm Engineer Hoist. Keep rolling, my friends, and we'll see you next time.